Welcome to a very long overdue part 7 of the 2010 Ford Shelby GT500 build-up. As you can you might remember from part 6, which really does seem as though it was about 10 million years ago. I did have some paint issues with this vehicle when I was doing the black valances all around the bottom of the vehicle. I'd masked it off, and unfortunately it ripped the paint off in that area there that needs to be redone, and it also lifted up the clear coat just there. So what I need to do is repair this part here, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is just mask it off at the line there where the bumper meets the wing or the fender, and then mask it off at the stripes as well, and then just repair that whole area, because then I'm kind of hoping that it just help blend the whole thing in, and then once that's done, I'm just gonna then wet sand the whole body down, because there are a few imperfections in the clear lacquer, so I want to get those out, and then I'll clear coat the whole thing, and then I just need to completely redo these as well, because there's a lot of scratches in them which I'm not liking. So I'll get those done, or once clear lacquer's dried completely, I'll just come along and just sort of key the surfaces where the black needs to go, so hopefully the black paint will just stick to it. Once all that's done, I'll then be able to start rebuilding it. I think it's going to take a good sort of 3-4 days just to sort of, get the body painted again, and then get it sanded, wet sanded, and then recoated in clear, and then a few days after this is completely dried, I'll then be able to go back in and do all of the black bits, because really that's the only thing that's stopping me on this vehicle, is that once all that bit's done, I then just need to get all of the lights put in, etc. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this little beastie, I will come back to you. We've now done the repairs to the bodywork on the Mustang, and it's looking pretty good. You can see there we've got a real nice shine on the paintwork. This was the area where we had the damage at the front, where the paint all lifted up, so that's been done, and as you can see we've actually preserved the line of the stripes there as well. And then if we come down this side, you can see how nice and shiny it is down there, and then towards the back on this side here, this is where we had the damage on the back part of it, so that's looking pretty good. So all I need to do now really is just wait for 3 days for this to harden, and then what I'm going to do is all the black valance parts I'm just going to sand down with a 600 or possibly a 400 grit actually, and then a 600 and then an 800, just to sort of key the surfaces really, so I can make sure that I get a good bond between the paint that I put down and the actual surface of the model. What I did really to begin with, before I started doing the repairs to this, was I went in with a 600 grit wet and dry sandpaper to really knock off the gloss surface to it, so it was completely matte basically, and once I'd done that, I then went up to an 800 and just gave it a quick going over with 800, and then redone it again with a 1200, just to make sure that, you know, the surface was sort of pretty smooth and that there were no deep scratches in the paintwork at all. And then when I repaired the body, all I did was at the bumper line put masking tape to cover up the wing, and then I put some more masking tape to cover up this part, and then some masking tape sort of right on the edge of the stripe and down the side, and then sort of like masked a fairly big area off, so I didn't have to worry about overspill. And then I went in with the Hemi Orange as the base coat. Excuse me. And then I used the Pearlescent Orange just to finish it off with a few coats on that. And then we've done exactly the same, followed exactly the same procedure on this side. It was a little bit easier really because we've got that nice sort of straight line that goes up. So we've used that as the masking point. Masked the whole lot really, and then masked it off at the stripe there, and then also then across that part there. So it was just really this area of the bumper that got repaired. And then when that was done, as I say, today I've put two coats of the clear gloss, the 2K clear gloss on there, and it looks pretty good. And I'm happier actually with the finish on it this time than I was the first time around. Main reason being is on the actual box for the clear coat, it does give you the instructions there, as the examples, 100 parts clear, 50 parts hardener, and then 10% thinners. So for an example, it's 20 minutes to the clear gloss, and then 10 milliliters of the hardener, and then 3 milliliters of the thinners. Well, really, to be quite honest, to actually cover a car of this size, that's too much, to be fair. So I used 10 milliliters of the clear, 5 milliliters of the hardener. Now with the thinners I didn't use 3 milliliters because I found before that it was coming out the airbrush a bit too thick, and it was giving you that sort of orange peel effect. So I kind of pushed that up to 4.5 milliliters just to really thin the paint down, and that actually worked. That gave me a better finish than it did with the 3 milliliters. So that's a trick that I'm going to use further on. And just to give you an idea, even though I've actually given this car 2 coats, I've still got that amount left in the bottle. So I mean, that's, I suppose, about a third left of the paint. So I mean, even though I've done that at 10, 5 and 4.5, it was still a bit too much. So unfortunately that bit's going to be wasted because that will actually start to go off within the next day or so, so I can't unfortunately keep it for another day. I also redid the wing mirrors as well actually. Let's get those, see if we can get those in a shot. So we've redone those, and they've again had 2 coats of the clear gloss on them as well. So that just needs to sit down and rest now. I can't really now do anything to the model for the next 3 days because I really need this paint to dry properly. So I mean, today's Wednesday, so it's going to need Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to dry off, so it's really going to be Saturday before I can sort of do anything else to it. And Saturday will be the day that I tackle all of the black valance parts on it and sort of get those sanded down, and then I will use a different type of masking tape to actually mask off all the black areas for me to paint them, because I don't want this happening again. So that's kind of like where we are. So as soon as I've got the other bits done to it, I will come back to you. Good news is we've got all of the work done to the body paint now. So we've got all the valances done. I used the Tamiya X18, which is the semi-gloss black. For some reason it come out slightly glossier than semi-gloss black. It's kind of like an in-between a gloss black and a semi-gloss black, which is a bit weird. Not sure what happened there, but hey ho. It doesn't detract from the car, so I'm not going to bother doing anything about it, especially with all the struggles that I've had with this car. You know, it's perfectly fine, it's perfectly serviceable, it's not really an issue for me. The current place that I'm at really is stage 36, because that's kind of where I got to. So I've got the actual interior onto the chassis, and all the chassis is completed, so it's sort of like 37 onwards that I need to work to. There's 54 stages on this build. The 54th stage is getting all the decals on the outside done, but as I'm not putting on a lot of decals, it's only really going to be the registration plate, and that's about it, I think. So I'm really not counting stage 54 into this build, so for me it's only really 53. So there's not that many stages left to go on this car. Most of it is pretty uncomplicated, really. The only painting that I've got left to do are these little bits here, and also the one on the other side, because I forgot to do those when I did the rest of the painting, which was a bit remiss, but never mind. And also the windscreen wipers as well, they need to be painted to match. Once that's done, the next thing for me to do really is to work out where I'm going to be putting all the lighting in for the lights. That's what we're looking at there. I mean, I've got the holes drilled for the 5mm there, sorry, for the 3mm LED, and then also we've got the hole there drilled for the SMD that's going to go in there for the indicators, that will also need to be constantly lit as well, I guess. So yeah, just need to figure out the lighting for those. The rear lighting, to be honest, isn't going to be much of an issue really, just because the wires are just going to be sort of under here where you would normally have the boot space. The only thing that I need to think about really, and look on the instructions just to help a little bit, and the reference material that I've got, is to work out exactly where I need the red SMDs to go in there. Once I've sorted that bit out and that they're all together properly, it's not going to take too long. So I'm kind of hoping really that this build isn't going to take too much long, or it's not going to take too much longer to build from this point, because most of it is actually done. Most of the stuff is painted. What needs to be painted, apart from those few little bits I've just pointed out, is painted. So there's not a lot to do. It's just more of a case of lighting and assembly. So I'm kind of hoping that it's not going to take too much longer to do, and then I can just get back to the Peterbilt truck once this has been done, and yeah, we can take it from there. So as soon as I've got some more progress made to this wee beastie, I will come back to you. Made some good progress to the vehicle now. We've got both of the radiator grills in place now. We've also got the Cobra badge in. We've got both of the fog lights in as well. And because they are fog lights, I didn't bother putting any bulbs in there at all. I just couldn't see the point of doing so, to be honest with you. We've also got the main lights in. The only thing that's left to do is the side markers. I just need to put the Molotow liquid chrome in there. Once that's dried, I just then put the clear covers over the top. I've had to paint those in the clear orange to get those looking like amber. The rear ones, funnily enough, are actually made with a clear red styrene. So I'm not sure why Revell didn't feel the need to put these ones in as a clear orange. It just beggars belief, but there you go, never mind. Maybe it was too expensive for them to do that, so they just decided to do them with a clear a clear styrene. The windscreen wipers, we've got the main arms themselves painted in the semi-gloss black. All I need to do then, or all I need to do now really, is just go in and paint the actual blades themselves in the XF85 rubber black, or black rubber should I say. They'll be done. The lights themselves, we've got the SMDs, sorry, the LEDs in place with the clear covers that go over the lights themselves as well. The two orange SMDs that I've used for the side markers, what I did with these was I drilled a hole straight through from the back end with a 3mm drill bit until we'd got just over 3/4 of the way through the plastic. So I didn't actually drill a 3mm hole straight the way through. And what I did was just went from this side that way, from the outside to the back with a 1mm drill bit, just so we could get that point of light coming through. The orange LEDs, before I put those into place, I cut the top off because they were the rounded LEDs. So I just took the top off to flatten them off, and then just gave them a light buff really, just to sort of get a bit of shine back to them. And then when they were in place, I then put a bobble of microcrystal clear glue in there just to get that bulbous look back to the front of them. So they're looking quite good. The headlights, we used a bright white LED in those, and again that was done with a 3mm, and again just used a 3mm drill bit and drilled the hole straight through from the front to the rear at a slight angle on both sides. So we've kind of got that it's driving on the correct side of the road stance going on, rather than just facing straight forward. Now with these ones, because they didn't actually stick out the front end completely, they didn't have that round bulbous look that all modern cars have now. I had to countersink from the back to get that little lip of the LED in. So I used a 5mm drill bit to actually countersink that in far enough so we could get the bulbous look that we was after, and that's worked quite well. So I'm happy with the results of that. Still toying with the resistors at the moment. All of the lights are hooked up to a 2.7k resistor. With the main headlights themselves, I might take that down, or I might take that up to a 5k resistor. I'm not sure yet. In person, the actual headlights themselves look really, really good. They're not hugely bright. On camera though, you know what happens. They just they wash everything else out. So I'm not really sure at the moment whether I'm going to toy with those. I mean, I can actually see the indicators myself quite clearly when all the lights are switched on, but on camera you can't actually notice them. So if I just put that on now, there you go, you can actually see. I mean, it's not like you can actually see those for some reason. It's weird, but I think they're looking pretty good actually. They are reflecting quite nicely as well on the inside of the housings. It's kind of like they're doing what they should do in a normal car. So the only thing really lighting wise left for me to do now are the rear light clusters. Once I've got those together and I've got those in and wired in, etc., I will come back to you so you can have a look at what those look like. So I will come back to you in a while.